Hello everyone, I'm Sanjay Gupta. I welcome you on Sanjay Gupta Tech School. So as you can see, this is day 38 of this boot. Okay, so I think connection was lost and now it is restored. So I hope now you are able to listen me. Can you please confirm my voice is coming to you? So hi and welcome everybody. And you can see this is day 38 of Salesforce Learning Bootcamp, and we'll be discussing about conditional statement. Those are if else, right? So those who have joined for the first time, I just welcome them, and let's just start. So uh, those who joined for the first time, so you can see this slide shows about me, what I have done and how much experience I have. So you can just go through, and like we are following all these virtual learning best practices. So I think lots of people are doing practice on daily basis. So I can see that in Telegram group you are asking questions and implementing solutions as well. So I'm happy like whatever I'm teaching you, you are implementing. And as you know, consistency is the key to success. So please do regular practice so that you can become expert. And today, first I will be explaining the topic and will give you lots of demo. So in today's session, I will be covering lots of examples, right? So with that, with those examples, you will be able to understand how we can apply conditional statements. And if you have any doubt, so you can just comment on the video or you can ask question in Telegram group. So soon, like tomorrow, we will be completing week 10, and week 11 will be very much important because in week 11, I will be explaining about SOQL and DML. So if you really want to master your skills in Apex programming, so SOQL and DML both are very much important, right? So next week will be important, and I think next week will be uh, like having one more show is there, like IPL. So I don't know how you will be managing. So you just need to do both the things parallel because times will clash. So those who won't be able to join, so they can just go through the recording, right? And if we go further, so you can just follow uh, Sanjay Gupta Tech School on each platform so that you can get daily reminders and you won't skip any session. And share the words with everybody because soon I will be announcing one more bootcamp that is related to cybersecurity. So this week all the content will be finalized, and like soon you will hear from which date it will be starting. Okay, so let's start learning conditional statements in Apex. So I hope while like IPL will be going on, so you won't be disregarding this bootcamp. So I know IPL has huge fan following, and I'm very small entity in compared to that. But I will be doing the sessions on the same time. So if you miss, you can just go through the recording. Yeah, so what you can do, you can watch one thing in laptop and another thing in on TV or mobile phone. So this way you can manage, right? So let's understand this conditional statement. So here you can see we have first example that is related to if else. So till now, whatever we have implemented, so we never applied any condition. So sometimes there is a requirement like we need to apply condition, and basis on the condition we need to run particular block. It can be true block or it can be false block, right? So there may be many chances when you want to apply a condition, and if condition is true, then you want to execute some set of instructions. If condition is false, then you want to run another set of instructions, right? So in that case, you can apply this if else, and this is the syntax. So if and else both are keywords. So with if you will be applying the condition, and if will be containing the true block, and else will be containing the false block, right? So I have few examples that we will be implementing so that you can understand, and I will be implementing all these examples in Apex. So it will be a revision of Apex along with understanding of if else statement. So first example is to find out maximum among two numbers, right? So jumping to developer console, and here I'm going to implement a class. So naming it as conditional statement demo. So what I will do, I will create different methods in this class for each requirement, right? So that you can follow. If like you are watching the recording also, you will be having different methods. So public static void, and first is to find out max, right? So I'm going to implement it in two different ways. So first I'm going to create variables here only. So I'm creating num1 as 20, num2 as 40. Right now, how I can apply condition. So I will be writing if, and inside if I can write it like this: num1 greater than num2, and then I can open this curly brace. So if num1 is greater than num2, so what I can write system.debug, and here I can write num1 is max as compared to num2, right? So this is true part. Now if you consider like this, if condition can be false as well, so you can write else, and inside else what you can do, you can write system.debug. So I'm just copying the statement from above and I'm going to paste it. So here I can write num2 is max as compared to num1. So the message can be anything, right? So you just need to understand how we can implement conditional statement, right? So this part is basically true block. If this condition is true, then this true block will be executed. If this condition is false, then this else block will be executed. And here you can have more than one statements as well. In this curly brace, like you can see, it is matching with green color. So inside this curly braces, you can have one or more than one statements, right? So this way you will be able to implement it. Now here, anytime you are executing this method, so it will be showing you same results, because in num1 and num2, we just specified the values here only. So right now I'm going to run it. So I'm just copying the class name, and method name is max. So I'm going to execute it so that we can see the results in the debug. So it is showing num2 is max as compared to num1, because num2 is having value as 40, right? Now you might be thinking, if we run this method any number of times, result will be same always, right? So what we can do, we need to change this implementation. So what I'm going to do, instead of declaring variables here, so I'm just making this statement as comment, and here I'm going to receive the values. So integer num1 and integer num2. Now what will happen, anytime whenever you will be calling this method, so at the time of method or function call, we will be passing the values. So let's say I just called it, I'm passing 10, 20, then I'm just copying it and pasting it again, and from here I'm passing 30, 20. So I'm calling it 2 times. So that method will be executing 2 times, and it will be showing 2 different results. So I'm just clicking on execute, and here if I check this checkbox, so debug only will show the results. So you can see line number 9 is showing num2 is max as compared to num1, and line number 7 is showing num1 is max as compared to num2. So you can see these are the line numbers that you need to remember. So first time line number 9 was displaying, and second time line number 7 was displaying basis on this input, right? So I hope you understood how we can pass different values as a parameter. Okay, so now we have another example, which is check whether person is eligible for vote or not. So whether person can vote or not. So if I take example of India, so in India, if you are 18 or above that age, so in India, if you want to vote, you should be having age as 18 or greater than that, then you are eligible to vote. So as per different countries, this can be different. I am not sure. So I will be taking example of India only. And here I am going to implement one more method. So public static void So I'm going to check eligibility here. And again, what I'm going to do, I will be receiving age as input. And I'm directly applying if condition. So if age is greater than equals to 18, right? So this way you can apply the condition. If age is greater than equals to 18, now here you can just write system.debug. You are eligible to vote. And in else part, you can write system.debug. You are not eligible to vote, right? So this way you can implement the method. Okay. And whenever we will be calling this method, we need to pass a number that will be age of a person, and accordingly this code will show you the results, right? So this is simple, like you can just apply the condition, and basis on this condition result will be displayed. So if I come here and call this method, so I'm just copying the name of method, pasting it here as well. So here I'm passing 10, here I'm passing 30, right? So for 10 it will show not eligible, for 30 it will show eligible. So I'm just clicking on execute. Okay, I just forgot to save the code, so I'm just saving. You can see it is saving, and now I'm going to run it. So always remember, if you modify your code, you need to save the code, then only it will run. So you can see first it is showing you are not eligible to vote, and then it is showing you are eligible to vote. Okay, so this way if you implement a method, so you can just call a method more than one time as well, and at the time of calling you can pass the parameter. Okay, so that if you are calling that method more than one time, so different values you can pass and different results we can receive. Okay, so I hope everybody is comfortable with this now. Right, so now we have one more example which says check whether a number is even or odd. Right, so we just need to check whether a given number is even or odd. Right, so I'm going to implement this above so that you can just view it properly. So public static void, then check even odd. This is the method name, and it will be receiving a number. Okay, now we just need to apply if condition. Then if you want to check whether a number is even or odd, so we need to divide that number with 2. If number is completely divisible by 2 and remainder is 0, if number is completely divisible by 2 and remainder is 0, then it is considered as even, otherwise odd. So here we can use a class math. Then here we have a method or function mod, and here we can pass 2 values. So in place of x I am passing num, in place of y I am passing 2, and if it is equals to 0, right? So what we are trying to do through this math class, I am applying mod function. In this function I am passing num, which will be divisible by 2, and if the result of this expression is equals to 0, it means number is divisible by 2. Okay, so here static is misspelled, so I'm just correcting it. Now here I am writing system.debug, number is even, and in else I can write system.debug, number is odd. So this way you can apply even odd check. So here I hope you understood this different method as well. Like if you want to use any mathematical function, so this math is a class, and whenever you write math dot, so all the suggestions you will get, if you write math dot, so you will see all the functions which are related to mathematical calculation are available here. So from this list you can see the examples. Here you can see how many number of parameters we need to pass. So mostly are receiving 2 parameter, some are receiving 1 parameter, some are receiving 0 parameter. So basis on this you can just apply it. And if you want to learn it properly, so what you can do, just search for math class in Apex. So here you will find this link, math class, and here you will have the Salesforce documentation where all the methods are available. If you click on any method, so here you will find its description, all the details, and for few you will find some examples as well. So this way you can search for particular class and all the methods will be available there. Okay, so I was already aware about this method. If you are not aware, so you can just open that class and you can go with the method whether this is available or not. So you don't need to memorize each and every method, right? You don't need to memorize each and every method. You just need to take help from the references, public documents which are provided by Salesforce, and those are available free of cost. You can just go and check whether that particular method is available to do particular operation. If yes, you can just apply it. Right? So every developer use Salesforce reference document because we cannot remember each and every method that is available, right? So if you go through that document, you can just use that. Now I am just saving this code and I'm going to execute it so that we can check whether it is working fine or not. So check even or odd. So here I am passing 15. So for first method call, I am passing 10. For second method call, I am passing 15. And I'm going to execute both the statements. So in the logs, I am just clicking on debug only. So these two results are available. For first 10, it is showing number is even. For 15, it is showing number is odd. So this way code is working fine, and I hope you understood how we can implement conditional statements in Apex. Okay, so now I am moving to next part. So this is little bit complicated. So right now, whatever examples we implemented, they were having only two scenarios, either true or false. There may be chances like you will be having more than one scenarios. Like if condition is true, so here you can see the example, it is else if ladder. So if first condition is true, the statement will be evaluated. Then else and other else won't be evaluated. But if first condition is false and you want to apply one more condition, so you can write else if. And here there is a space between else if. So else if both are two separate keywords, so you need to apply a space and you can apply another condition. So if you have more than two cases, then we can have else if ladder. So you can apply any number of conditions. So if one is false, then another condition will be checked. If another condition is false, then you can have one more condition. So this way you can create else if ladder so that you can have more conditions. Right, so I have, okay, so before moving to example, I have one more syntax. So this is basically nested if, right? So in case of nested if, what we need to do, we need to apply conditions together. Like we have if condition, if it is true, then we have one more condition, right? So sometimes we need this syntax as well. Okay, so if I take you to the depth, so if first condition is true, then one more condition is there. If it is true, then this part will be evaluated. If this condition, second condition is false, so this else part will be evaluated. If first condition is false, then last else part will be evaluated. Okay, and if I go back, so here you can see if first condition is false, then we are checking the condition. So you can apply one more if condition in the else part as well as in the true part, right? So now with the help of one example, I'm going to show both the syntaxes. So example is, we will be having a number and we need to check whether it is positive, negative or zero. So first I will implement it with else if ladder, and then I will be implementing it with nested if, so that you can understand both the scenarios or both the syntaxes. Okay, so I hope you have understood the requirement well. We will be receiving a number from user as input, and we need to check whether it is positive, negative or zero. Right, so first I will be implementing else if ladder, and then I will show the same implementation with nested if. So here I am going to implement a method. So public static void, and remember one more thing, you can implement methods in any order and you can call them in any order, right? So method implementation doesn't require any sequence. You can define any method in any order, right? So that's why, like if you see, the first method is here max, second is check eligibility, third is here check even odd. Now fourth method I am defining at top. So order doesn't matter, right? So here I am writing else if ladder demo, and I will be receiving an integer as input, right? So if I receive the number into num, so what I'm going to do, so I'm going to demo you else if ladder, right? So here first I'm checking if number is greater than 0. If yes, so I'm just writing system.debug, number is positive. Positive means it is greater than 0. Now if number is not greater than 0, what I can do, I can apply else, then I need to provide space. This is important. So else if is not a word. Else if are two different words. So here you need to apply a space in between. This is important, right? So here I am writing else, then space if num double equals to 0. So here I am writing system.debug, number is 0, right? And then else, so here I can simply write system.debug, number is negative. Okay, so here you can see we have three situations. So for positive we have this block, then we have else if, so this is for 0, and last else is for negative. So this way you can apply else if ladder if you have more conditions, right? So you can go in any depth. If you have like 10 situations, so you can apply if, then else if, then again else if, then else if. So this way you can go in any depth. So I'm just saving this code and I'm going to call it. So we have three scenarios. So I will be calling it 3 times so that we can see all the cases. So you can see I called this method 3 times. In first I am passing positive, second I am passing 0, third I am passing negative number, and I am clicking on execute. So now we just need to check debug values. So you can see number is positive, number is 0, number is negative. Okay, so this way we are able to compare the values. So I hope you understood how we implemented else if ladder. Right now I'm going to show you the same example using nested if. Okay, so here I'm going to implement this method. So public static void nested if demo integer num. Now here I am writing num greater than equals to 0. Now inside this I need to check if num is greater than 0. So I can just write system.debug number is positive, and here I am writing else system.debug number is 0. So initially what I did, I just checked two things, whether number is greater than 0 as well as equals to 0. In both the cases this condition will be true. Now later inside this if condition I applied one more if else block, and there I am just checking whether it is greater than 0 or equals to 0. Now if this first condition is false, number is neither greater than 0 nor equals to 0, so it means it is less than 0. So here I am writing else, and I can just write system.debug number is negative. Okay, so this else line number 22 else is for line number 16 if. Okay, line number 22 else is for line number 16 if. So you can see here you just need to follow the proper indentation. You need to follow the proper indentation. If you follow the proper indentation, then only you can relate like which else is for which if. And these curly braces also you can match open and close. If you click here, so like your developer console is automatically matching begin and end. If I click here, I can match begin end. If I click here, I can match begin end. Right? So this way you can just check. If you place these things incorrectly, you will encounter an error. Okay, so indentation is very important. And if you want to apply indentation, so what you can do, just press Ctrl A and Shift Tab. So automatically all the lines will be aligned properly. So you need to select with Ctrl plus A, and then you need to apply Shift plus Tab. So now I am just saving this code, copying the method name, moving to anonymous window, and here I am pasting the new method. Right? And clicking on execute, you will see the same results. So number is positive, 0 and negative. Right? So this way I hope you understood how we can implement else if ladder and nested if. Okay, so now we have one more thing, that is logical operator. So sometimes there are requirements like you have more than one conditions, those you need to implement all together. In a single if condition, you want more than one conditions to be implemented together. So for that we can apply logical operators, right? So we have two logical operators, those are used frequently. First one is logical AND. If you use these symbols twice, AND symbol twice, so it is basically logical AND, and it says if all conditions are true, then result will be true block, otherwise false block. Okay, so here if both the conditions are true, then you can just use this AND, like if you want to evaluate true block. And next is OR. It is known as logical OR. So if any of the condition is true, then true block of if statement is executed, and if all conditions are false, then false block of if statement is executed, right? So in case of logical AND, all should be true if you want to execute true block. In case of OR, if at least one condition is true, then your true block will be evaluated. Okay, so now I'm going to give you a small demo about this. So method name is logical operators demo. So I'm going to create a num1 equals to 10, num2 equals to 30. Now I'm writing if. So if num1 greater than 50 and num2 greater than equals to 100. So this way you can apply the condition. So I'm just giving you a brief idea like how you can implement two conditions with the help of logical operator, right? So this is the logical operator and this is first condition, num1 greater than 50 and num2 greater than 100. So if both the conditions are true, then only true block will be evaluated. So here I'm just writing system.debug and just mentioning true. Here I'm writing system.debug and false. So in the logs, we will see true or false as the result, right? So here I'm just copying this method name and going to execute this. So I'm just selecting this first line and clicking on execute highlighted. So let's see what will be the result. So you can see it is showing false, right? Because conditions are false. Num1 is greater than 50 false, num2 is greater than 100 false. Now if I change this condition, num1 is greater than 5, num2 is greater than 10. If both are true, then only true will be displayed. So I'm just saving this code and executing this first line again. So clicking on execute highlighted, and now you will see the result will be false. Sorry, result will be true because both the conditions are true. Okay, so this way I hope you understood, like if you need to run true block and you are using logical AND, so all the conditions should be true. Okay, if any one is false, still it will display the result as false. So let's say num1 is greater than 5, it is true, but num2 is not greater than 100. So result will be false. So I'm going to run it again so that you can see this result as well. So you can see it is showing false. Okay, so I hope you understood how we can join two or more than two conditions. If you have more conditions, you can apply it again. And here you can write one more condition. So this way you can use logical AND operator any number of times. Okay, and when we'll be implementing some triggers, so we'll be using this logical AND and logical OR for implementing certain conditions. Now if I apply OR for the same case, so here what is happening? First condition is true, so it will ignore the second condition. No matter second is true or false, it will be showing the result as true. And remember, here I use logical OR operator. Okay, so I am executing the first statement again, clicking on execute highlighted, and result will be true. You can see the result. It is showing true. Okay, so in case of logical OR, if any one is true, then result will be true. And if both are false, then result will be false. So in this case, the result will be false because both the conditions are false. So I am executing it so that we can see the result. You can see the result is false. Okay, so this way, if you need to have more than one conditions in your if statement, so you can join them using logical AND or logical OR as per the requirement. Okay, now let's jump to one more thing. So here we need to see how we can apply null check through if statement. So we can apply null check for list, set and map, anything. Okay, so before using any list, set or map, we just need to make sure whether it is empty or not. Right, so we can apply null check there also. So I'm going to implement one method. So null check demo. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I am creating a list of account. And I'm going to query some records. So I'm going to query 5 records into this ACC list. And generally what we do, we just display this. Like this. Okay. So there may be chances in your org under account object, you don't have any record. There may be possibility under account object, you don't have any record. So if you don't have any record, so what will be available in this ACC list? It will be containing null. And if it is containing null, so is there any significance to run this statement system.debug? So answer will be no. Okay. So what you can do, instead of writing it directly, what you can do, you can apply a null check. So here I will be using if statement. So this is the real use of if statement in our code that we will be doing frequently. So here I am writing if condition, opening the bracket, then I am writing ACC list. Now I hope you remember we learned about one method that is one method that is empty. So here I am going to use that. Okay. And showing this. So if your list is empty, so it will be true. But we need to display system.debug when list is not empty. So we have one more logical operator that is used to convert true result into false and false result into true. So that is basically known as not operator, this exclamation sign. Right, so this exclamation sign is basically known as not operator. So if your result is true, so it will convert it into false. If your result is false, it will convert it into true. So here I am using is empty. So initially ACC list dot is empty. If your list is empty, it will return true. In that case, you don't want to run this system.debug. So that true will be converted into false using this not. Right, using this not, it will be converted into false. And if list is not empty, so it will be returning false. In that case, we want to make this if true. So that false will be converted into true using this not operator. Okay, so this not is basically logical operator which converts true into false or false into true. Okay, we can use another way. So you can, if it is difficult for you, so what you can do, you can write it like this as well. If ACC list dot size greater than 0, then only we need to show this. Okay, so now you can see we have two different ways to check null. So first is empty method that you can use directly with this not operator, and second is ACC list dot size. If list size is greater than 0, then only we want to display the results in the debug, right? So you can use this as well. So I just use or, it means either you can use this if block or you can use this if block. Anything you can use, both will be same and will give you the same result. Okay, and similarly you can apply null check for set and map. So if you have set, you can write set name here. If you have map, you can write map name here. Okay, so this I leave up to you. So if you go to our document, so here all the examples are listed. So you just need to practice all these examples using if else statements, right? And number 6 and number 7 are very much important. These two will be using while implementing trigger scenarios. Okay, so I hope this way you understood the conditional statements very well. I tried to cover each and every scenario, and I tried to pick all the easy examples so that you can understand how we can implement conditional statements in Apex. Okay, so this is end for today's session. Now, if you have any question, so you can ask, and if you don't have any question, you can just leave. And this week we'll be having next session tomorrow. Tomorrow will be the last session for this week, and upcoming sessions we'll be having from the next week. So tomorrow's session is very much important, which will be covering loop statement, right? So if you struggle with loop process, so just join today's session live so that you can ask questions. And by any chance if you miss, so you can just go through the recording and you can ask questions in the Telegram group as well. Okay, so now people are asking different requirements. So I would suggest leap year. You don't need to remember the condition. Just go Google and have the leap year logic and just fit that leap year logic in the Apex. Right? So now these simple things you don't need to memorize. So leap year logic will be available on Google. You just need to copy and just fit that as per the syntax of Apex. Okay, so now if you have any question, you can ask. I can answer. So Praveen is asking, can we use letters like and or instead of symbol in logical operator? So answer will be no. You need to use those operators only. So Kuldeep, yes, we need to study Aura, and I will try to have, like, lots of folks are asking about Visual Force. So this weekend I will be modifying the session tracker. So I will be adding Visual Force integrations sessions as well in the session tracker, so that you won't have some panic, like you won't be asking whether we need to learn Visual Force integration. Aura is already part of the session tracker. So like from next week onwards, I won't be seeing this kind of question. So Saida, I would prefer, like, please implement this logic. So here you just need to receive school day, like Monday to Saturday between 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. So you need to create variables for that, and accordingly you will be checking, right? So you need a list where you will be storing these values, and lots of conditions will be required there. So just implement, and you can just show the screenshot in the Telegram group. I will confirm. This will be using logical and logical or operators. So just use that combination. Yes, to learn Aura, LWC, CSS, HTML and JavaScript is necessary. Prashant, yes, debug log shown for 9th line and second, 7th line, because for first method call, the result was due to 9th line, and for second method call, the result was due to 7th line. That's why it is showing this way. So Sanjit, there are lots of operators available in Salesforce. So you can search for that list. Let me just search for that here for you. So operators in Apex. So here we have expression and operators guide. So you can have this, and here I think you will find all the operators. So you just need to go through this document. So here you will be finding different operators. Okay, just go through this document. You can search it on Google. It is available. Yes, Siva, we use ternary operator as well. So maybe ternary operator I will be including in the next session. So while explaining loop, I will be explaining you ternary operator as well. So let me have a entry here. So I will be explaining ternary operator for sure. Okay, this will be covered in the next session. Yes, Vamshi, if you are implementing some code, you can just have a collection in GitHub and you can just use so that you can showcase whatever you have done. So Jenna, you just need to go through the math class. So you are asking how we would know like what method will do what. So you just open the math class and go through the list. Through that list, just read the description. You will automatically get to know which method does what. Nagarjuna, while condition is basically a loop that we'll discuss tomorrow. So Asit, not operator basically just convert true into false and false into true. Right? So whatever the result of your condition, it just converts it into opposite. So just practice whatever I demonstrated, and still you will be having any problem, so you can just ask. Umka, if you want to compare two entities, you will be using double equals to. So double equals to is basically used to compare two entities. Yes, Akshay, like next week we'll be starting trigger. So next week will be for Apex and then we'll be starting trigger. Yes, Sumit, LWC and Aura both are related to development. So Revati, you are asking which conditional statement can we use exception? I didn't get it. Can you just ask in more detail? So Sanjit, you can use any number of times or operator in a single line. If it is very lengthy, so you can just break it into two lines. Satya, like standard keywords are a lot. So I don't remember all the names, but whatever we are using in the session, so I'm just explaining those. So in today's session, we used if else. And when we discussed about different classes, like different methods and also public, static, void, all these are keywords. Yes, Akshay, I will be sharing admin and flow related interview questions PDF soon. So just focus on the Telegram group. I will be sharing them there. So very goody, double equals to basically checks values, and triple equals to basically check value as well as type, data type of two parameters. So if you need to check type, you can go with triple equals to. Yes, so your next question is in nested if condition, inside else, can I use if condition? So answer will be yes. Okay, so nested if I am explaining one more time. So if we go here and if I pick the nested if, so here it is. So in nested if, what is happening? This is the first condition. If it is true, then we have again if else block inside this if condition. So if you have one if condition and inside that if condition, if you have another if condition, so that is basically known as nested if. Now here we have this else part. So here also you can apply if condition this way. So with this else also you can apply if condition. Okay, so if you want to check back-to-back conditions, then we can apply nested if. Okay, so Praveen is asking about ETL. I'm not sure about this. So you can search on internet. Okay, Kishore is asking to explain line number 55. Okay, so Kishore, line number 55 is basically for calculating mod. So in mathematics, if you want to divide two numbers and you want to receive the remainder value, if you divide two numbers and you want to have remainder value, so to have that remainder value, we are applying this mod operator. So whatever is the number, if you divide that number with 2, so the remainder will be available. If remainder is equals to 0, then we are considering number is even. Okay, so for this, like you can just search for math class. So just search for math class in Apex, open it, and here you will find mod operators. So just search for mod. Here it is. So here you will see all the explanation regarding this and examples. So it basically find out remainder value. Okay, so this way I hope you will be able to understand properly. So Suraj is asking, can we use break and continue in if else statement? So answer will be no. Break and continue we basically use in if else, we use in loop, not in if else. Praveen, I am not sure about data piping, so won't be able to help you on this. So Revati, while and do while, like loops, we will be discussing tomorrow. So I think then you will be able to relate them. Generally, we prefer while. In Apex, we never use do while because all the scenarios will require top testing. So I will be explaining for loop, for while loop, for each loop tomorrow. So Praveen, try catch block we will be understanding next week. So if you see the session tracker, in next week we have exception handling. So day 42 will be explaining try catch block in Apex. Okay, so I hope I answered each and every question that you asked, and thank you so much for joining today's session. Tomorrow's session will be very much important, so don't miss the live session because I will be explaining loop, and in every trigger scenario we will be using loop, right? So if else, conditional statement and loop statements will be available in each and every scenario of trigger. So don't miss trigger sessions because those will be, don't miss tomorrow's session because loop will be very much important for understanding trigger scenarios. Okay, so I hope you will be joining tomorrow's session. Yeah, so Jana, yeah, we are having 3 documents: session tracker, exercise sheet, and Q&A. I am not updating as of now because now I am able to answer each and every question live. So no question is pending, so that's why I'm not updating that Q&A document. So you will be having beginner questions only there, so you can just ignore. So right now we have only 2 documents, one is session tracker and one is exercise sheet. That's it. Thank you, Kishore, for appreciating my effort. And I think those who are live, can you just tell me, like today's voice is better than other sessions? Like I just changed my microphone, so I'm using different mic today. So can you just tell me which is better, like the sessions which we conducted earlier or today's? And Aparna, soon I will be sharing the session tracker for cybersecurity. So we are planning. So cybersecurity bootcamp will be in different phases. So we are planning phase one as of now. It will be for 4 to 6 months. Okay, thank you Pankaj and Vikash for confirming. Sanjit, I think set I already explained in previous session, so you can just go through that. Okay, so I think today's microphone is working fine, so I will be using this going forward. Okay, thank you so much. We'll see you tomorrow. Thank you. Bye everyone.